Houston, our instruments are showing that we have a incoming message from deep space. Repeat, Houston, we have an incoming message from deep space. Houston, we will begin playing message now. Houston, we're going to try and translate that up here. Hold for translation. Translation complete. We'll begin playing message now.
Hey, it's me, Melissa.
What do you do when the aliens invade? Take a shot of MK Ultra and watch Melissa Jade. Put on your tinfoil hat and tune right in. We got that crime spree, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, a complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what are dolphins understanding? It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Aliens is on the sun or in Area 51. Time travels, unravels, haunted castles, cops are baffled, potential experimental thoughts that make you transcendental. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Crime sprees, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what are dolphins understanding? It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa.
Hey guys. Hi Harlot. Hi Happy Chick. Sarcastic to you. Mary Jane 87. Nika. Nay, my snot rocket. Wait, Nay, you can't come here and then say, all right, I'll be back. Let me see. Sherry Hill. We have Adrian. Olivia 2. Under review. Let me see. Grant. 87. Wait, I said 87. All right, well, you get another hello. 87 Punksy. Where's my Wolfie? She'll be here. Position 69. So lovely seeing you. Let me see. I saw a mobile escape room today, and I was very intrigued. Hi, Musicity Mom. We're in for double trouble today because I'm an indecisive biatch. So I have the I have the first episode of the case files of Letitia Stauch, and I just pushed that back a little bit because I really, really wanted to discuss this Delphi information with you guys because I've been really very much invested in the Delphi stuff, but I did not want to push the Letitia live another day because yesterday I got home from work. I was so exhausted. I fell right to sleep. So we're doing two. I want to go live right now with the Delphi stuff. I want to talk about it. It shouldn't take that long. And then I have the Letitia's live redirected with this live, meaning it'll bring you directly there once this live ends. And then we're going to go over and do the first episode of Letitia. So, but I'm telling you now, I haven't had the time to thoroughly figure out how to search that big ass case file. And I tried to search something that Allie told me to search, except when I search it, nothing comes up. And I know it's my fault. I know I'm doing something wrong because I am really bad with technology. So I know there she is. Hi, Allie. I know I'm doing something wrong because she told me to search something and I did. Except when I did, it's like, no, there's nothing there by that name. I'm like, wait. So I know it's me. So my point is that it may take until episode 2 before like I'm like, all right, I figure out where I'm at really. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Just give me some grace. Hi, Crime Curious. So I just want to let you know, yes, we're still doing Letitia tonight. I just wanted to discuss this Delphi stuff because I couldn't wait. So it's a double trouble, double feature. As soon as this live ends, it'll immediately bring you over into the Letitia live. So you know what I was looking for, Allie? Like that I wanted to discuss Lena's interview. So I was looking for what you told me to search. I was looking for that, but I was also looking for interview, the word interview. And so, yeah, it was like, yes, we have 94 hits for interview. And I was like, yeah, I did it. But then I couldn't find it. So I'm just so bad with this type of stuff. Yeah, it's a 2 for Tuesday. Yeah, Richie. No, I should be really a lot better with technology. And I'm so scared that if I don't catch up now, forever, I'm going to be screwed. I'm going to be that person that is so beyond, like, there's no catching up. Thank you so, so much, Olivia. That's so kind of you and very, very much appreciated. Okay. So before I take up too much time, you guys know, hey Meat Feets, you guys know where we last left off with Delphi. So a couple articles got released. There was another new Murder Sheet podcast episode. Now, I should have done a little bit more research before I last went live with this. Hey Richie, I'm going to be honest. I told you guys that was the first time that I had ever even went into a podcast world before. So that was my first time listening to Murder Sheet podcast. That podcast. But I should have thoroughly educated myself with this subject before I came live, because now that I have looked into it a bit more the past couple of days, I'm feeling a bit, how do you say? I don't know. Originally, I felt like they were given exclusive access to these leaked crime scene photos and evidence, and basically it was kind of on them alone, and they made the right decision to go to police and go to the defense. But it was only after I educated myself, which again I should have done before I went live, that I realized that no, this had made its way around, that there were already other even creators on this platform who had access to this a long time beforehand, and had chosen just not to discuss it, and that there is some controversy with them, but they had been getting a lot of controversy because of that podcast episode. And we also had a little bit of clarification thanks to Meat Feets, because the whole M&R situation. All right. If you guys remember and you were here the other night, they were using M and R. M was used to refer to their source, the person who gave them the leaked crime scene photos. And R was the, oh crap, now I'm forgetting. Hold on. Let me pull it up. R was the person who had, I guess, given it to Mark, who had taken their own life last week. But what they didn't say is that there's 2 M's, okay? Thanks so much, Idaho Charlie. I very much appreciate it. That's super sweet of you. Hey, Mac J, there's 2 M's. Which I don't know why they didn't freaking include that part. Like, listen, I understand if for your own sake you want to have the letter be the letter that their name starts with. Okay, but if both names start with M, choose a different letter or go by M1 or M2. But you screwed up my head by not mentioning there are 2 M's in this situation. Because I walked away that night thinking I had shit figured out. I didn't have shit figured out. I was wrong. So I'm mad. I'm just saying. So really how this went was, here is how the material got to the murder sheet. 1M is the previous associate of Baldwin, Richard Allen's attorney. M1, that M, gave it to R. R gave it to M2, who is Mark. We know it now as Mark. And Mark gave it to the murder sheet. Now, it would have been great and fucking dandy if you would have just included that it was 2 M's. Because you only referred to M. And that pissed me off. Now, what you also didn't include was Mark wasn't like your individual source. Mark is somebody who blasted this in all of the Delphi groups. All of the Delphi groups. He was putting this stuff out there. But while at the same time that I say that, I will say, okay, it puts a little bit more credibility, at least in that side of things, right? We can verify that this Mark person is legit and does have access. Now R took their own life last week. But R is not the former associate of Baldwin. R got them from M1, who was the former associate. Okay, so not full crime scene, but the photo of the tree with the marking of the blood, and items, clothing items, things like that. Yes, it was Mark who was posting them. So interesting enough, if you were here and listening to the podcast, they were mentioning how it was being aggravated with Court TV's rendition, the sketch of the F marking on the tree that initially triggered the whole releasing of that crime scene photo, which actually does add up, because in the groups, you'll see a bunch of posts from Mark. And the first post that you see is him doing a side-by-side of Court TV's sketch of the alleged F on the tree and the actual crime scene photo. Now, what's even crazier, he has timestamps. Yes, Crime Curious. Yes. Because Court TV put it out in a way where it appeared that it wasn't intentional. Court TV's sketch made it appear that it was more blood spatter, that it could have gotten there, whether it, I don't know if there implying that it was from the killings or maybe from transfer. But Mark wanted to show that no, this is a very intentional. And the only way he did that was he did a side-by-side comparison. He put out court TVs alongside the actual crime scene photo of the tree. So we can take that from what the murder podcast said and confirm that is true. Okay, at least, yes, that is consistent. Hey, Search and Rescue Mom. Hi, Tony. Now, he also released, and these specific crime scene photos have been lingering out there for a long time, but the girls' articles of clothing in the water, in the stream. Except his include a timestamp of February 14th in the morning. Hours before the official time that the girls were found. And okay, yes, that could mean that, yeah, screenshots could be faked all the time. But my whole point is this is very interesting. So Mark's been around. Hey, ATS. So Mark's been around. That's the whole point. Mark's been around. Now, who this other M is, I don't know. I don't know who the other M is. And who the R is, I don't know. I've heard speculation, but I don't know. But I just wanted to clarify to you guys that there are 2 M's and an R. Because I walked away thinking that I figured it out and I didn't. Okay? So 2 M's and an R. M1 is the prior associate for attorney Baldwin's firm. They are the one who gave it to R. R is the person who took their own life last week. R gave it to Mark. Mark gave it to Murder Rap Podcast and posted them in the Facebook groups or Reddit, wherever. He posts them everywhere, apparently. So, and thank you so much, Allie. That's really, really kind of you. Thank you. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. That's what I heard too. I heard Gray had them for a while now, but never went public with it, never discussed it, never did anything. So again, when I originally went live the other night, and I take accountability, I should have researched into it more before I went live with it. So I apologize for that. I'll try to do better moving forward with that, but I was under the impression that they kind of were chosen to have access to this. And what I don't understand, let me tell you what I don't understand. What I don't understand is they said in their podcast that the one stipulation that Mark had when giving these crime scene photos to the podcasters was that they would go forward and give it to the police. And if you remember when we were listening, we all even said, wait a second, we paused it and we were like, why doesn't he just go forward himself? Like, what sense did that make? Why did he need to pass it along to podcasters who then they went to police? Why couldn't they just go to, it didn't make sense to us. Well, now that makes even less sense. Because now that we know he was posting them in Facebook groups and Reddit groups, clearly going to police to stop the leak and plug the leak was not a top priority. Clearly. So I just wanted to touch base with that before I pull up with where we're at today. So Judge Francis Cull just scheduled a last-minute hearing. If you don't think this is what it's about, I'd love to hear what you think it's about. Absolutely, I think it's going to be about this, the leak. That was some thigh slapping. Need some claws. I got some thigh slapping going on. But they did. Well, the point though, Nika, and I hear what you're saying, other people have access to it. Other creators have access to it, have not gone forward with it. Hi Shay. And if the whole point was to not bring attention, murder kind of did bring attention to it. You know what I mean? So I don't really know how I don't know what to think at this point. There's a lot that adds up with what they said, but there's some things that don't add up to what they said. But then there's another YouTuber that I watch who he did receive the crime scene photos via an email, and he discusses them and breaks them down. And so my point is that these have gotten around, guys. These have gotten around. So it's not like they were chosen and given exclusive insight. So like, did they do anything? I don't freaking know. I don't know what to think at this point. But this is a massive catastrophic leak. It really is. So let's pull up these two article links. Well, and they put out a second episode. I didn't watch it. Shay's in the chat. I think she watched it. I didn't get to listen to it yet today. But she sent me these two article links, so I wanted to go over it with you guys. So this is The Sun, which I don't really like The Sun, but... And it says, a terrible disaster. Podcasters detail catastrophic leak of 7 Delphi crime scene photos and fears for implications on Richard Allen trial. Now, as far as I know, it includes 4 photos of the girls themselves, because I know that was something that we discussed last time based on what the podcasters were saying. You know, did the photos include Abby or Libby? And yes, the answer is yes, they do. Again, because other creators who, not everybody agrees with how to go about the situation. And I'm going to respect everybody's opinion. So while saying that, there are creators who have chosen to discuss the topic, and there are creators who have chosen not to discuss the topic. And so it was it really, Shay? Well, they said that they weren't going to discuss it again. So really, I kind of want to jump through it. Okay. Hey, M guy. So yes, my point is that 4 of the photos, as far as I'm aware, included pictures of Abby and Libby. So it says, podcasters who alerted authorities to a massive leak of crime scene photos from the Delphi murders have called the scandal a terrible disaster that will likely cause the victims' families yet more pain and anguish. Anne Kane and Kevin Greenlee, oops, beautiful girls, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pick you up. Host of the murder sheet. What do I keep calling it? The murder rap? The murder sheet received an email on October 5th from a source identified only as Mark, who sent them 7 graphic images depicting the murders of Abby and Libby. Now, what's interesting is posts from Mark in the groups on October 4th. Okay? On October 4th. So the 2 8th graders were found dead near an abandoned railroad in Delphi, Indiana on Valentine's Day 2017. For years, the causes of the girls' death were kept a secret from the public as law enforcement carried out a years-long search for their killer, fueling rampant conspiracy online. Richard Allen, a local CVS worker, was arrested last October and charged with murdering the girls when an unspent bullet found between their bodies was allegedly discovered to have been cycled through a handgun he owns. Allen also placed himself at the scene of the crime on the day of the murders, took place in various interviews with police, legal documents show, but he has not pleaded guilty to all charges. I'm sorry, he has pleaded not guilty to all charges. So his attorneys, Andrew Baldwin and Bradley Rosie, sensationally alleged in a bombshell memorandum filed last month that Libby and Abby were killed as part of a ritualistic sacrifice carried out by a group of local men who were all purportedly members of a Nordic cult and unknown to Allen. The state has strongly condemned the defense's allegations and decision to file the memorandum, calling their remarks sensationalistic, unprofessional, and lacking in any factual basis. And now, Allen's legal team is being investigated by Indiana State Police following a series of leaks that include images from the crime scene. All discovery evidence in the case is under a strict protective order, meaning it must not be shared with the public under any circumstances. However, in the early morning hours of October 5th, Kane and Greenlee received 7 images depicting the murders of Abby and Libby from a source called Mark, who informed them that he'd been sent the photos by a second individual, R, who took his own life last week. Okay? That's basically what it's like. The last time we left off, it's like, we're not going to discuss this again. We're not going to give any details. Stay tuned for part 2, because here we are. You're doing it. You're doing exactly that. At least don't claim you're not going to discuss it. It's really bad, Mac J. Okay. Pausing for a moment. I thought they were the only creators kind of who got access to it there for a moment. They're not. You guys, there's a lot of creators who were sent this. Ask yourself who would benefit from sending out the crime scene photos to a bunch of creators. Me too, position 69. Ask yourself who would benefit from going to these creators and not just one, not just 2, several creators on different platforms sending this out, which is essentially guaranteed that these crime scene photos see the light of day, right? Because that's what you're doing. If you're sending it out multiple places, Essentially, your goal is to make sure these go public. Why else would you be sending that to multiple platforms? So it says Kanan Greenlee meticulously retraced the path of the leak and were able to identify the persons they believed to be associated with sharing the prohibited images. One of the persons allegedly involved was identified as a former professional associate of Allen's attorney, Andrew Baldwin, the couple told the U.S. Sun. There is no evidence to suggest either Baldwin or Rosie is directly involved in the leak, they stressed. And ISP is currently probing precisely how the images came to light. Local news outlet Fox 59 has conducted its own investigation into the leak and linked the breach to the same former Baldwin associate. Kanan Greenlee called the leak a catastrophic development that could have wide-ranging implications on Richard Allen's forthcoming murder trial, which is slated to begin in January 2024. This is a terrible, terrible disaster, honestly, said Kane. Very early in the morning, we received a number of images that we realized very, very quickly were crime scene photographs, graphic crime scene photographs in the Delphi murders case. When the sun came up, we reached out to law enforcement to let them know that there had been a catastrophic breach in the case of discovery materials. We also contacted the defense and the state because we wanted both sides to have that information. And at that time, we didn't know where the breach had come from. The person who sent us the photos was not the original leaker. Eventually, we were able to determine the leak came from somebody who was connected to the defense. Kane and Greenlee declined to share what Allen's attorneys said in their response to the shocking discovery, though Baldwin and Rosie reportedly acknowledged the leak directly. The images were incredibly graphic in their nature, Greenlee said, and their authenticity was clear from the very first glance. It was apparent from just taking a first look at them that they were real, and that was later confirmed by investigators, he said. This is not how our court system is supposed to work, added Kane. Richard Allen had not had a trial yet. He is innocent until proven guilty. And the idea that people are putting out images that could incent the public against him is just totally counter to what should be happening here. They deserve better. Kane and Greenlee deleted all of the images from their devices after speaking with investigators. Troublingly, though, they say the scale of the leak appears to be widespread, with other podcasters, content creators, and curious members of the public also now in possession of the disturbing images. They urged anyone who has the photos to delete them, or at the very least show restraint and not disseminate the evidence or discuss it in detail. We're aware of a number of other people who either researched this case or are creators of some type who received the images. And we just hope that they do the right thing and, cooperate with the investigation into the leak and also, delete them off their phone. Because this stuff doesn't need to be out there. That family doesn't need to be worried every time they log into social media they're going to see something. And it doesn't help because none of us are crime scene experts. So, it's just needless speculation. It doesn't actually improve the public's understanding of the case in any way. With an investigation into the leak firm underway, Kane said there is a multitude of options the presiding judge has at their disposal to attempt to remedy the situation. Those options range from a simple reprimand to Allen's attorney being removed from the case, to even possible contempt of court charges filed against those who leaked or disseminated the photos or other items of evidence. I would hope this would prompt some soul searching for those people who cover the case. And though I think it's a good thing to be curious, and in a lot of ways the public's curiosity kept law enforcement accountable, I don't think anyone's curiosity should trump human decency and Richard Allen's constitutional rights. So there are limits to that morbid curiosity that I hope people understand. Greenlee and Kane have been following and reporting on the Delphi case for several years on the murder sheet. Kane said it was devastating to see the brutality of the crime scene firsthand, though she recognized anything she feels now would pale in comparison to what Libby and Abby's families experienced if they saw the images plastered across social media. On some level, it just feels like this case is just a never-ending tragedy, and these girls and their families deserve so much better. They deserve to be alive now, and they certainly deserve the utmost respect and sensitivity in death with how we talk about and cover this case. I just so feel bad for these families, and I just can't get them out of my mind. It's been pretty devastating, to be honest, and I just imagine this is an inkling of what the families are currently feeling. Fear and anguish as a mob of people try to obtain these photos online. It's been rough, and we just really feel for everyone involved in this situation. Making matters worse for the families of Libby and Abby is the prospect that Richard's Allen trial could be subject to a significant delay in the light of the evidence leak. Greenlee explained that if the presiding judge decides to remove Allen's attorneys from the case, it could cause a considerable delay of months or even years until a suitable replacement could be appointed and Allen's case rebuilt. The new defense attorneys will need to take a lot of time to familiarize themselves with this case and then to formulate their own strategies, because there's a great chance the new defense attorneys would not want to just reuse the strategies and plans of this particular team. There's going to be a delay in the trial if there's a switch at the defense. As for how long that delay will be remains to be seen. Oh, is this them? Oh, it is them. They're a couple? That's not what I expected. That's not what I expected. Huh. Okay, sorry. So, any replacement will want to act fast, as Allen is currently housed in a maximum security prison, Westville Correctional Facility, while he awaits trial in an exceedingly rare measure. Hopefully, this will motivate them to work at least at some speed. Richard Allen is a constitutionally innocent man who's currently incarcerated. And so I would hope that even if they were the attorneys who were replaced, that the new defense team would work to deal with that as quickly as possible, as they feel he is an innocent man. His rights here are a concern, and I hope that comes into practice so we don't, although I guess it could be years. I hope we don't get into a situation where that happens. Allen's murder trial was due to go ahead on January 8th next year. He will appear in the Allen County Courthouse on October 19th for a recently announced hearing. According to the court, the purpose of the proceeding is to discuss an upcoming October 31st hearing and other matters which have recently arisen. It's believed the leak will be addressed by the judge during the hearing and appropriate action will be taken. Allen's attorneys could not be reached for comment. So, what do you think, guys? Sorry, I wasn't trying to it just wasn't what I expected. It's weird when you get when you listen to someone's voice for so long and then you see them on camera for the first time and you're like, oh, that's not in my mind what I was expecting. This is huge, guys. And I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Let's be real. It's only a matter of time before the photos surface. It's true. If it's out to that many people already, and I could name 5 different places that I know of personally that has it. It's going to be a big, big problem. And this is not the first leak that has occurred regarding Allen's defense team. This would be the second. Ain't no way that judge should allow the attorneys to continue on. I am Rena. I'm doing a double one. Hi, Kaleido Hope. I mean, if it's already been out there, I get it sucks, but I can't help but feel like this comes after the bombshells. I don't know how to feel about it. Yeah, Shay, it's listen. Oh. And this one is the how potential evidence leak in Delphi murders could impact the trial. I'm going to jump through the repetitive information. This says, I can't really say what this is other than mysterious. Mysterious is how IU law professor Jody Madeira describes the potential leak of crime scene photos. Richard Allen's legal team is accused of leaking the photos. The defense has had quite a circus that they've exposed us to over the past several months. Madeira feels Allen's attorneys have created a tradition of misconduct in the case through their actions, such as claiming the state withheld evidence and misled the original judge to get a search warrant for Allen's home. She says this evidence leak, however, is the most serious. Leaked evidence that violates protective orders, of course, is especially heinous to leak. These agreements exist to keep these documents confidential. If the claims are proven true, the punishment could be consequential. Madeira believes Allen's attorneys could be taken off his January 8th trial, an action that would likely result in Allen's January 8th trial date being delayed. I believe that chances are high that this penalty will be quite serious this time, Madeira said. Again, this just jeopardizes many things that didn't need to be jeopardized in the first place. Indiana State Police tells us they are investigating the leak but will not comment right now. Judge Frank Gull ordered a hearing for this Thursday in Fort Wayne to discuss the upcoming hearing on October 31st and other matters which have recently arisen. So, yep, all of a sudden this pop-up hearing for Thursday, guys. Yeah, it has to do with this damn leak. It could completely jeopardize Richard Allen's right to a fair trial. If those the jury hasn't been picked, Danielle. So if those crime scene photos got out of the girls, and we know even with the limited information that we have now, how bad it is, okay? And potential jury members see that. And they think that Richard Allen potentially could be responsible. How do you think they're going to feel about Richard Allen? I think you guys are having a whole different discussion in the chat. You don't think the lawyers are going to be removed? I don't know, Jeannie. It's the second leak, not the first leak from the defense. It would be the second leak if it's proven to be true. Where's my back scratcher? Back scratcher? I got an itch. Can you hear me scratching it? So much better. I don't like it. It all feels icky from all sides, but they won't have people on the jury who knows nothing about the case. They could try. I think it hurts Richard's case and trial. I think it equally jeopardizes justice for Libby and Abby, and it sucks, right? Did you back scratcher? I wouldn't have done it if the itch wasn't that bad, guys. The itch was really, really bad. Hi, Michelle. I would have hated that if I was the subscriber. I'm sorry, I should have muted. And it's one of those like long wooden old school back scratchers. But anyway, what's it called? I see if this is indeed not a back scratcher meat foot, different type of scratch. Okay. Can we just ponder for a moment? What would the defense have to benefit from releasing these photos? It's a good question, Jeannie. Oh, you mean with the defense? Last spring was the first leak with the defense, and they took accountability for it and said it was an accident. That's what I, in my head, was thinking, Katie, but I wanted to see what you guys were thinking. Yes, we could see you, Angela. Proving the crime scene was staged. Okay. Something that people who did see the crime scene photos, what they said was, one, it does not look like anybody even walked in the area. There's a lot of leaves. Now, clearly somebody did. But what they're trying to get at is that no sign of a struggle, like there was no tussle or anything like that. No obvious signs that somebody had walked through the area. But even more importantly, that after seeing, and this is just one person's opinion from seeing it, they said that they could say without a doubt the girls were not killed there versus later placed there. That was not the original crime scene. Which I know a lot of people speculated way before this. Oh, hold on. Well, excuse me, as interesting as it is, Nate, there are people who really do believe in the Odinism theory. It was done dirty and dishy. It was a satisfying yawn. Which I don't know. See, the problem here is the bullet is most likely going to get thrown out. Can this case hold up against Richard Allen with the bullet thrown out? Well, without the bullet, what do they have? His confessions, which are pretty damn good. Don't get me wrong. But as far as physical evidence, okay, Allie. If that bullet's thrown out and they're able to get the confessions thrown out, meaning they're not admissible in court, like the jurors are never going to hear it. I don't know if well, not if they're court appointed, Jeannie. Then it's just, well, he'll get court appointed no matter what. Not so much can they jump in, they'll just be appointed. No, it doesn't make him innocent, but will it hold up, I'm saying? Okay, because the chain of command in the, well, okay, if we're going with the Frank's memorandum, to be true, yeah, they can if someone wants to take it on pro bono, Jeannie. So according to the Frank's memorandum, chain of custody was not followed. So with the bullet, they are claiming no photos were taken of the processing of that bullet. So the only photos of the bullet itself was actually at the crime scene, I guess, as it still was between the girls. Now, retrieving the bullet was not documented. The bullet itself was not documented. The measuring of the bullet to get its exact details was not documented. Usually you would see the photo with it up against some type of measuring device. Not documented. The transporting of the bullet, all of that stuff. All that we know is like, hey, we're supposed to trust that this is the exact same bullet that linked to Richard Allen's gun, right? Yet you didn't follow the correct chain of command. That's potentially going to get thrown out. Why didn't they take the branches? If these branches were so methodically placed on top of the girls, and I don't know if they had blood on them, because again, the people who saw the crime scene says there was very minimal blood on scene. Even the people who found the girls in all of the leaked messages and stuff says there was very minimal blood on scene, and the blood that was there was very hard to detect because it was basically underneath the leaves. But even if there wasn't blood, I cannot for the life of me understand why they did not collect those branches. Yet they went back, weeks later to collect them? That's weird to me. Okay. Hi, Jordan. Oh, no, Musicity Mom. It's horrible. Maybe he doesn't know the whole story, though, right? That's the hard part. Angel, like, what if he doesn't know? Like, I have no idea where I stand with this case right now. What? I'm yawning. I'm sorry, I'm getting tired. But I don't I don't even know what to say because I'm just so on the fence with things. Sorry. That's funny, Richie. I know, sorry, I'll pep up. Well, it's not even just that. Like I said, my brain's just processing things and I can't figure this out. But I'm trying to think of reasons why the defense would leak that out. And the only reason is if they were confident that if the public saw this, that they would lean more into the Odinism theory, the cult theory. I wasn't, listen, I lean where there's evidence. So I am open wherever the evidence is going to lead me. So even where it stands right now, it may not be a lot of evidence that points to Richard Allen, but there's more evidence that points to Richard Allen than points to anybody else that I am aware of at this time. So I lean more towards Richard Allen's involvement. Now, with that being said, am I completely satisfied that, yep, he's the guy and that's it? No. But that's where the evidence is leading so far. But that could change tomorrow and there could be a whole shit ton of evidence that points to somebody else. And I'll be like, yep, that's where that leads. So I'm waiting because there should be more, in my opinion. But I'm not comfortable with where things are at. Because these are really bold claims being made by the defense. And a leak like this, you think they're willing to risk leaking that? I don't know. And if they did, talk about risking your entire reputation and career for what? You're already representing Richard Allen on a huge high-profile case. What would these attorneys be getting out of risking their entire careers? Allegedly, Jordan, the crime scene photos of the girls. And then we have, 87. Then we have this guy, the original leak. Well, no, I guess not the original leak, the middleman of the leak, taking his own life? No. This is weird. This is weird, guys. Imagine if something like that happened in the Koberger case. People would be flipping. I don't like it. Something stinks. I know, Dara. That's what I'm saying. Like, and personally for themselves, like, okay, even if it benefits the case, they're going to risk their entire license, their reputation to leak that? I don't think so. That's their whole careers down the drain. Their credibility would be shot. I don't know. But we have court Thursday. Court TV has applied to get access to cover it, to record it, and to stream it. And so fingers crossed that the judge approves it. I know. Not saying it can't happen, but plausible. And so I guess we'll see what happens Thursday. You bet your bottom dollar I'll be live. I'll be covering it. Even if they don't stream it, I'll be covering it, you know, with, I guess they'll be tweeting it out. Something will happen when we'll get the updates. And I'll let you guys know what happens. But I'm going to be anxiously waiting and thinking about it. And, but, all right, guys. So I'm going to end this live, but I am switching lives. And I'm going live to do the case files of Letitia Stout, episode 1. I know it might seem silly to end this live, but I have to make sure that, because the Letitia Stout case files will be a series, so I have to have it separate. As soon as this live ends, it'll automatically redirect you to the next live, or you could click on that link and it'll bring you right over. But you could see me over there. If I don't see you over there, I will see you guys live tomorrow. Either or, I hope you have a wonderful night, or I'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you all soon. No, you don't stay here. Well, you can stay here. As soon as I end, like I said, it'll redirect you to the next live, or you could just click that link. It'll be faster. Either or, but you take your pick.